Ladies and gentlemen, this interview is brought to you by Burn Up Coaching and the 21-Day Challenge. And if you're an entrepreneur, high achiever, and you're committed to reaching your next level of success, reigniting your passion, your self-belief so you can succeed like never before, the 21-Day Challenge might be the perfect fit for you. What we do over the course of the 21-Day Challenge is get crystal clear on your dreams and your goals, and we'll do your statement of purpose so you can break your life down into vision, mission, purpose, strategy, objectives, all the good stuff to make sure that you know that you're on track with your creation, your greatest possible self. We'll get that vision in place and we'll break it down into bite-sized steps so that you have your crystal clear 21-day goal. And then I'll support you every single day with progress reports, weekly deep dive calls to make sure that you're uncovering the limiting beliefs that are keeping you stuck or stopped from achieving your greatest possible self. And I am so happy to do it. I love doing it. Just got done at an event this last weekend, facilitating for 4 days, helping people break through their BS into their greatest possible self, figure out what their statement of purpose is, figure out how to break it down into bite-sized steps. I love doing it, so would love to help you do it as well. If you're committed to going on that journey and being your GPS, send me a message, chris@beyourgps.com, or find me on Facebook, facebook.com/th3burns, and send me an email, let me know, or a message, and let me know that you are excited to join the 21-Day Challenge and you want to see if it's a great fit for you and your goals and where you're at and where you are committed to going. Looking forward to talking to you. Now for the iTunes review of the day. Guess who it is? It is the one and only Yvonne Larson. And Yvonne is on today's marathon. She's going to be on later today. She's going to rock it. And it's her birthday. So everyone say happy birthday to her. Wish her happy birthday. And also she's launching her podcast. So I wanted to give that a shout out. She's launching it today. It's playtowinpodcast.com. So check it out because she's a superstar. And in addition to that, she wrote a review. Her review says, passion, focus, inspiring. I've met lots of people who say they are committed to transforming the world. This guy, what? Seriously, he's no joke. His weekly 12-hour marathons are packed with valuable, reliable, and practical tools and resources. He is meticulous about curating the best guests. He is like the Energizer Bunny. He keeps going and going and going. I'm proud and honored to know such an amazing man. So thank you so much, Yvonne. I appreciate you. I love you. And if you want to give us a review, go to beyourgps.com/iTunes, and you can do it there. Or you can search Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self on iTunes and do it like that and give us a rate, review, and subscribe and keep up to date. Or you can do it on Facebook. Search Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self on there and leave us a review like that. Whichever way, however you choose to do it, we appreciate you doing that. Thank you so much in advance. Keep making it your best day ever. Now, Corina Hemming is a superstar, and you are definitely going to want to stick around till the end because she is inspiring. She's had to overcome some serious challenges and traumas, and she still is totally creating her reality, and I'm super excited to have her on today. So I'm going to bring her on in a minute. Before that, we're going to do her introduction so that you know a little bit more about this woman. Make sure you stick around because she is definitely bringing the gold. Corina Hemming is a 51-year-old woman that was born to be entrepreneurial. From selling raffle tickets at 7 years old to joining her mom's business 9 years ago, the drive to make it bigger and better has remained. 3.5 years ago, a concussion changed everything. So making a simple cup of tea took 45 minutes to recover from. The diagnosis a year later, Hemiplegic Migraines, a rare and permanent brain change where symptoms are often mistaken for strokes in severe cases. Corina was offered the opportunity with Younique, and she took the kit for the deal and swore she would never do this. Fast forward 19 months, and Corina is all in, using skincare and makeup as a platform to empower, uplift, and validate others. She is real, raw, crazy honest, your biggest cheerleader, and when you need it, she'll give you a kick in the pants. This is where Corina has always meant to be, and it's her honor that she is now able to do this for others. And she is coming on the show to rock this with us. Corina, you ready to do this?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You are now live on Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self. Welcome to the show, superstar. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you.
It's my pleasure and my honor. Thank you so much for having me, Chris.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're going to dive right in to the theme of the day, which today is an all-connected universe, okay? So Corina, how has this concept of our all-connected universe played a role in your life? How has it impacted you?
Oh, that's a good question. So one of the, it is.
Thank you.
I like it. Uh, just so you know, you're going to hear my dog jingle jangling around. So that's part of being connected in that universe. Is that
Love it.
and it's amazing. The more I'm in this, the more I'm realizing how closely connected we are as a
Mm,
people, and just how often we've been so close to each other yet not actually met. So it's kind of a
mm,
cool thing. So I really
yes.
like it. It's a neat, and it's a topic you can talk about for hours on
Yes.
these close connections, or you actually make the connection years later. So yeah, we are all connected in this universe,
Mm.
and we have to watch out for each other.
I love it. I love it 100%. And I love how you use that example of your dog. You know, that's one of the things that they train speakers on is being able to use distractions or things that are happening in the room to our advantage. Like I was speaking at a 4-day event this past weekend and there was construction going on right next door. Like while we were doing meditations, while we're doing like clearing and energy healing and like stuff like that. And so I'm like, okay, so as you hear, you know, people have their eyes closed. As you hear the sound of the jackhammer going off, you know, imagine yourself. You're like a stone statue, and there's like extra stuff, extra weight, extra block that doesn't serve you. And as you hear that sound and you're going through these processes, just keep reminding yourself that, oh my gosh, I'm like chipping away and chiseling away the layers of me that don't serve me so that I can really get back to that perfect version of myself that has always been within, right? So it's like being able to use that distraction, what once was a distraction, and turn it into an advantage, something that empowers people in their process is super powerful. So I love that you did that. That's awesome. So Karina, for people who don't yet know you, why don't you share a little bit more about yourself and what you're creating in the world?
Well, I'm generally creating a bit of a firestorm. It seems to
Mm,
be in and of myself. It's because of the change of circumstance in my life. I had two choices. I could either let it beat me, or I could learn to work with it. My
yeah,
entire life has been adapt and overcome. It's just how I roll.
yeah.
So this is kind of a really perfect time for me to kind of be able to do that, and to be able to kind of get out there and help, maybe if I'm lucky enough that I can actually impact somebody enough to feel
Mm,
like they can do something in their life, that they can, reach for more, or they can work with what they've got in a way that will help them to move forward rather than
mm,
going, I'm stuck. So
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So my little firestorm and I, here we go.
Yes. Well, let me tell you this. Any guest who comes on the show, our commitment is that they impact at least one person's life. Most likely many, many more. So know that just by being here, you're doing that, okay? That's our commitment to you. That's our commitment for me. You know, I've already impacted someone's life. I took them through like a 35-minute coaching session earlier today. It was so powerful. And it's like that's what I live for. As long as I know one person gets value out of it, then my work was successful and it made a difference. So I know we're going to do that today with you, Karina, because your story is so powerful, and what you're up to and how you've overcome challenges and obstacles is super powerful. So you've done a couple different businesses and entrepreneur ventures. So tell us more about what you're working on today specifically.
Today, specifically, I am using the luxurious pre-built platform of skincare and makeup within Younique to be able to reach women, not just to make them get, some lip gloss and mascara,
Hmm.
but for them to start realizing that they don't have to work so hard at beating themselves up,
Yeah.
that they can be kind to themselves, that they can love
Hmm.
themselves, they can start to believe in themselves and realize that, well, maybe if a little bit of lip gloss and a little dab of mascara does make me feel better, so I can start actually believing that in myself, then rock on, away we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, so it's like remembering and teaching what's inside is really what counts. And also in the process, hey, use the tools and the resources that you've got to really amp that up. You know, remember that the inside of you is pure. And while you're here, have fun. You know, go to town on making yourself feel even more beautiful, even more radiant, using these different products and services to be able to, amplify that and amplify the beauty that's already within.
Yeah, and I think the big thing for me is that I spent so many years speaking so horribly to myself,
Hmm.
so awful to myself. I mean, I was bullied really heavily because I was tall and skinny and
Mm.
never quite fit in. So I spent decades trying to get my brain unwrapped from that programming that I had allowed in, that I wasn't good enough, I wasn't pretty enough, I wasn't smart enough, I didn't work enough, I
Mm.
wasn't doing enough. So I'm hoping that through this, it sort of evolved that maybe I can, if I can help somebody shortcut a decade or two,
Yeah.
maybe they can see that maybe through what I've done, that they realize that, oh my gosh, like, those light bulb moments.
Yeah.
And I have had the pleasure and the luxury of having a couple of people actually say that I did do that, that they actually picked up that phone and made a phone call and
Mm.
changed something, and they got the result they wanted. Or somebody said, and I went and I put on my lipstick, and my husband actually said to me, "You're beautiful," and she said, "I know I am." So it was
Yes.
those kind of things. That's like,
Mm.
that's the money.
Wow.
That's it. So
Yes, I love it. I love it. That's a good phrase. I love it. That's the money. That's money right there.
yeah,
Yes, like because so many people have a negative connotation about money. I love that you celebrate it. I love that like it feels great. It feels empowering. Money is good. Money helps us achieve our dreams and our goals. And I'm sure in your entrepreneurial ventures, you have women who associate money with not so great things, and that's something that you have to like break them through so that they're able to build a successful business and make a big impact in people's lives.
and it's not a bad thing to be a
Mm.
successful woman. It is not a
Mm.
bad thing or a negative thing to have a woman that has wealth or
Yeah.
is accumulating her own wealth or
Mm.
creating her own paycheck so that she can go and do some of the things she wants for herself or her family. It's not a dirty word. It's not a bad word. It is an
Mm.
amazing thing that we can do. And when we start talking to ourselves like we are bullies, I mean, if we, did you ever see that saying?
Mm.
I never realized I was a bully until I heard how I talked to myself.
Ooh. Ooh.
Okay, so yeah, so once you
Yeah.
shut that crap off in your brain,
Yeah.
it's amazing what opens. And the more I'm learning that, the more the doors are opening and opening. And I just so passionately want this for
Mm.
other people.
Yeah.
It's such a feeling of, oh, I've got goosebumps. I can't even explain it. It's just this vibe of, and so many wonderful things happen. It's absolutely sparkling. It's just so I want to
Yes.
give that and help people find that because it's such an amazing place to be.
Yeah,
You
I
know, you
love it. I
can
love
do
it. Yes, you are. You are. You're being that. You're being that right now. So just by being it and showing up on all the content that you put out, put out tons of videos, super awesome, empowering people. I'm sure you do tons of work in like groups and stuff, women's groups that you're, empowering them. So like just by being it and doing it and showing up, you're already doing that and activating that. So I acknowledge you, Corina, for doing that and for showing up in the world like that. And Corina, what I want to do right now is go back into the journey. Okay, back into the journey about how you became an entrepreneur. I mentioned it in the intro, but tell us about that journey and what were some of the challenges, some of the worthiness challenges that you had to go through, some of getting outside of your comfort zone, doing new things, evolving, expanding. Tell us about the journey and what were some of the key pivotal moments for you.
Actually, I think one of the biggest key pivotal moments that happened was when I was working with my mom, and and then she kind of handed the business off to me. And to give you a very Coles Notes version,
Mm-hmm.
it ended up, and I'm going to say this out in public, but I ended up in a quarter, so 4 months, doing what I did with her. I made a 6-digit income.
Wow.
I did that in sales by myself.
Wow.
So wow, yeah, I could do it. Blew my mind. Never knew I could do that. Absolutely, completely like holy crap. And then a
Wow.
month and a half later, I hit myself on the head.
Oh,
So,
man.
so oh yeah, I'm a klutz. So
It's
it,
like just
I
busted the lid wide open, and then you're like,
busted the lid wide open and then shut myself down. But it's something that really stuck with me through this
wow.
last 3.5 years, that
Hmm.
I achieved something that I never ever believed I could do.
Yeah.
And that kind of shifted my thinking. That was a big shift because, like you had said, I then went and ended up where I could, to make a cup of tea, I mean, I was working 50 hours a week. I was belly dancing 6 hours a week. I was out with friends and my boyfriend and doing and going to nothing. So because I had that, I was able to use that as a way to kind of get myself through and realize that, again, I can adapt and overcome.
Hmm.
So it's been a long journey to get to where I am now, about 80% of where I was. But I think the biggest thing that I learned is to be patient with myself.
Hmm.
I learned that, and to be kind to myself, to speak kindly to myself. And I learned that taking time to take care of me, and this women are notorious for this. We think we have to do it all and be everything to everybody 24/7. That is just get out the backhoe, okay? Dig that up, dump it in the truck, and say bye-bye. Because it's the biggest lie we tell ourselves. I'm sorry. If you've been up for 2 days, you got a newborn baby, and that baby is just screaming and yelling, and you are just feeling like, yeah, nasty. You make sure the baby's clean, dry, and has been fed, and you put them safely in their crib, and you have that shower. If they scream their head up, it's okay because you have to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
I know that's a bit descriptive, but
Yeah.
it's one of the biggest things that I learned, that I have nothing left to give anyone if I don't eat right, if I don't rest, if I don't do exercise, if I don't take time to feed, fuel, and nurture my body. And and that goes right now, even with business. It's very easy to get caught up in the rush of it, and the busyness of it, and the things you need to do in order to be a self-employed person, whether you do direct sales or brick and mortar, whatever it is, or even a corporate job. You have to take those times, because you are useless. You just become this like constant empty vessel, and you're squeezing every little bit out. It's just,
Not good. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Bad. Don't do that.
So you're really expressive, Corina, and I love it. I love the self-expression. I love how much you're just you and you own you. Was it always like that?
Oh God, no. Oh. No. Okay. No. I'm better. I've taught myself not to be, but I used to be incredibly shy, really insecure, completely like just awkward, and I thought ugly, and just I didn't even fit in my own skin. Like I just didn't know what to do with myself. And now I'm like, hey, you don't like me? There's the door. Next. Sorry, you're missing out, but and it's not an arrogance thing. It comes from confidence in knowing that I have something worthwhile sharing. And if it's not for you, that's okay. Bless and release. Be well. Sorry, you're missing out on all fun, but onward.
Yeah. I love it. So telling us more about, the recovery, like what did you have to do to like really get through those challenging moments in recovering yourself, and, whatever kind of, recovery exercise. I don't know if you did like physical therapy or memory exercises or thinking exercises. I don't know the cognitive exercises. So tell us more about that, and like what that process was like, and what you learned about yourself, what you had to, remember to like, in remembering who you are, remembering to be patient, or things like that. Tell us more about that.
You might have to remind me of some of the questions, because my brain is tired today, and I do forget things more easily. One of the biggest things, there was cognitive work, there was no physiotherapy. Really, it was time.
Wow.
Days and weeks and months and years. Just time. And it was about learning to listen to my body. For me to stop and tell you that, hey, my brain's feeling a little tired right now, you might have to remind me. I wouldn't have said that 3 years ago. I would have just pretended that it was all good. So learning to hear my body and not to shut it down. Learning that sometimes the hard stuff, there were days where I just would feel so down, like I was never going to be me again, would never be able to go and do the things I do. And I mourned that. I had a real sense of loss. So I had to go through this mourning, kind of grieving of what was. And from doing that, then it didn't happen very often. I'm really very blessed that I'm generally pretty optimistic, glass half full, there's always a silver lining kind of lady. Bonus. Bonus. So to be able to have that and be able to take those times to mourn and let that go, I don't look back at what I had. I see what I have. I see where I've come from in the last few years, and I have a much clearer idea of where I'm going in the next couple of years. So that being able to mourn that and release that was a big thing. And spending a lot of time being okay with sleeping parts of my day away, being okay with that I couldn't watch TV or even have a computer in front of me at times. And So those were really tough to deal with sometimes because you can feel a little detached and a little kind of isolated from the world.
Mm.
But again, it gave me time to kind of spend a little bit of time looking in, which is
Mm.
a bad thing. And I started to recognize that I'm all right.
Mm.
I used to say that, but I didn't believe it.
Yeah.
So it was a slow conversation and a lot of counseling. I will admit there was a lot of counseling. I had an amazing couple of counselors, and they really helped me to integrate that sense of, yes, I'm enough, and I'm awesome, to I believe and I know I am enough and I am awesome. And to really hold that in myself that I can actually talk to someone like you and
Mm.
be able to be exactly who I am. I mean, if you came
Yeah.
over my house, I'll be talking to you like this. This is how it. There you go. All right. By the way, the drinks are in the cupboard. Help yourself.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
I wouldn't have done that a few years ago. I would have felt so nervous and so awkward and am I saying the right things? Now I'm just like, this is it, and it's going to be just the right thing at the right time.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love it. This is so powerful. So I'm curious, what example do you believe that you're setting for the distributors and people in your on your team for Younique, and like what do you think that you most inspire them with how you're being and how you show up?
I think the biggest thing is I'm showing them that you can be consistent
Mm.
and tenacious as hell.
Mm-hmm.
And do it even if you're having a rough day, even if
Yeah.
your health isn't perfect, even if you don't have the right clothes or you don't have the right hair or you don't have the time, that you can create what you want. You just have to want it enough to make it a priority for yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing. And people are really, I feel very humble about this. People are really inspired by me.
Mm.
They're inspired about what I've overcome with my whole life. And I'm just kind of like, but it's just me. I'm just an ordinary woman. I got green eyes and 6 feet tall. I like my cereal dry and my coffee with sugar in it. Like I'm just a person, right? So I don't always get it until somebody points out to me, but you know what? Most people wouldn't do this. Most people wouldn't battle back or wouldn't keep going or wouldn't keep trying or look for alternatives or different ways of doing or think outside the box. And to me it's as normal as, for me it's just as normal as blinking my eyes. I don't have to think about it, so I'm really lucky with that.
What would you say your why was that drove you to create that optimal health and get back to a place of fullness and even more than before you got injured?
Well, that's a really good one. It actually was a little bit different. What happened first was that I recognized I was in a position at the age of 48 to look at my life as if I was 70 and let me explain that. When you're older, you're able to look back at your life and go, gee, you know what? My family, my friends, the things that made my life beautiful were so much more important than working 60 hours a week. At 48, I was able to see that and live that because I didn't have the choice to do anything else. So I've been able to shift my life.
Wow.
So, like being outside this summer and having my gorgeous 25-year dream garden finally here.
Yes.
And I'm out in the backyard and I'm picking beans and I'm picking carrots and I'm playing with my dog and I'm having my friends over, but I'm still working. That was just knowing that I could eventually create this. It was never a doubt that I would be able to get this wonderful mix in my life. So that was my why, because I knew what I wanted. I knew I wanted to get back to where I could enjoy every day because I opened my eyes. That I got to wake up, that I got to something like this morning and go on live and I helped somebody explain, she didn't even know what concealer was. And I walked through what it all was and I taught her something. So for me getting up, that was an amazing day. That was the money, that was my for the day. So that's what my why is. It's just why I got into that and why I kept trying and just baby stepping.
Perfect. So
starting to sometimes, but that happens.
That's right. It's part of the journey. Yeah, that's right. So I asked that about the why because I think it leads perfectly into what we're really talking about today, which is the decide portion right?
Yeah.
Like that's really what we wanted to focus on is
Watch
the
me light up now.
I know, right?
Okay.
I was excited to just like, ooh, let's open the gift, Pandora's box.
Yes, this is where the cool part comes in. And I always have glasses on my head. Otherwise, when I need to use them, I can't find them. So I go out driving out to get my groceries. Where's my glasses? They're on my head.
I love it. I love it. So Decide. Tell us more about Decide and how it's played a role in your life. When did you discover the impact that decision or Decide as a concept has on your life?
Oh, this awesome. You're getting to my favorite part, the cool shit. Yeah, change that word at the last second.
You can say whatever you want.
Okay, all the cool shit. I went to a full day training through Younique in Vancouver called Empower You. And FYI, I don't do raw stuff. All right, not doing it. Not my thing. And one of the ladies at the end, she was talking about how we, encourage others to work with us and to join us and to kind of get in on this vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, just decide you're going to go do this. That was it.
Wow.
That very second, I just went, oh. And the word decide has stuck in my head since then. And that was January the 9th, I believe.
Wow.
And that has just grown in me. And every time I feel like should I reach out to that person? Should I ask? I go, decide to do it. Decide to do it. Decide to do it. And I just do it. And oh yeah, shaking hands, flipping tummy, beating hard. And I do it because it just made sense to me. It was simple. It was such a powerful word. You can use it for all sorts of things. And I've really run with that over the past couple of months. It's become something that actually people go, you're the Decide lady. I'm like, yes, I am. Right. So it's kind of neat that I've kind of got this.
Yeah.
Like I just won today, and it was like, decide that you're worthy, decide that you're valuable, decide that you are worth making you a priority. Just decide. And I keep them short, and then I put a cool picture underneath it, and that's just my gig, right? I just want to give that to people and have them realize that it's not that hard. Making the decision to decide, that's hard. That's the hard part. But once you do decide, you're free.
Yeah.
It just opens up like, wow.
Yes,
like heavens open and you bang. But once you've just made that decision, once you've decided, you're off to the races. After that, everything's easy because you've done the hard thing.
Yeah.
But that's where it is, and it just keeps building in me and just keeps going, and it's just that's my mantra, I guess.
I love it. I love it. So I want to know, how has it impacted the people around you and how they relate to them and to themselves, like your team and the women around you? How does it impact them?
Well, I'm going to laugh because every now and again I'll be putting post-ups and they'll throw it back at me. Just decide. They'll bug me. Come on, Corina, decide.
Yes.
All right. So it's important to my team in that I brought on new people because I did that. And they had gone and looked at my profiles and they liked my positivity. They liked the fact that I believed in them, even though I've never met them. I tell people all the time, I'll believe in you until you're ready to believe in yourself. Right? And then you're gone. Yeah. It impacts my team because I'm able to do all the tough stuff. I never, if I'm asking somebody to go live and they're freaking out, I'll go on with them. I'll decide to make that happen. I'll tell them, you just decide to do it, or I'm there. Like I do this tough stuff, the things that are difficult for me to do. I tell them, all right, here I go, decide. And I'll go do whatever it is that I might not feel that I can do or might feel hesitant about doing, because I'm a crappy friend, a lousy leader. If I don't put literally my money where my mouth is, really? It's like when I used to do daycare. I did it for 15 years, long time. When my kid needed me to step up, if I didn't do it, I lost my credibility, and that's something that I still take today. If I don't do what I share, what I believe, what I tell others, then I don't have any credibility. I have no business being here at all. I need to be gone and disappear from the universe. So, like as far as out here. So, I do what I say. It's really important.
It's powerful. Yeah. Yeah. It's 100% important. And I really hear how important it is for you to live what you practice, practice what you preach, what you say that you're going to do. And I also love that the people around you can hold you to account with what you decided, right? Like what you said you were going to do and what you said you were going to live by. And that's why I love Greatest Possible Self, because I'm held to account to that standard of your highest self, your best self, your GPS. And I can't think of a better standard to be held to. So I really love that. I love that you created this brand for yourself called Decide. And that's how everyone sees you. So I'm excited to see the book when it comes out. We'll have you back on when you're ready to doing the launch and all that kind of stuff. So keep me posted, okay?
Seeds cracking in my brain.
Planted seeds.
Exactly what you tell me, because I'm liable to go off and do it.
Oh, I already decided that you're doing it. I love it. So I want to know, for the people out there who are entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, building their own sales business, what have you found makes yourself an effective salesperson and made people want to buy with you, want to join your team, want to become a distributor? What did you find was effective for you?
Being coachable. Wow, that came right out, eh?
Yep.
Yeah, being coachable, because I know I don't know everything, and I know that my way works for me, but it can always be improved on. And by being open to those little improvements over time and getting a little tidbit here, a little tidbit there, that you eventually find your own style. So you drop what doesn't work for you, you accept what does work for you, you play around with it. And that is what I can do, because I've learned that. I can then share that with other people and share that with my team. And even if you're on your own, be open to self-development. Okay, and I'm the most anti-self-development lady there is. I'm just telling you, I do not do the self-development thing, but now I do, right? So I'll learn you. Don't do that. And that you can, and that selectively picking a mentor or two, or selectively picking a training or two, because you can get very overwhelmed. Being very careful and intentional about what you're going to bring into your world. Be intentional about the training you take, about the mentors you bring, about the people you around you, and about the people that you bring onto your team or into your workplace. Be very intentional with that, because it has to align, or it's like like you're missing a cog in a wheel and there's always a hiccup. And if the motor just doesn't run smoothly. I know my Opa always used to take things apart, put them back together, and he thought it was great if there was only two nuts left over. Well, it won't do what we do. Bless his heart. God, I love him. It doesn't work so much in business.
Nope.
Okay? Their part. You need to go fix it.
Right? It's like the what is it? There's a certain personal development trainer. He talks about making souffles, right? And there's a certain recipe to making the souffle, right? And if you leave out the egg, like, it's not going to be the same souffle.
Or you don't crack the egg clean. You're going to have a little egg still in it. It's not good.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's really what it is. Is that it's very easy to get overwhelmed. So be coachable. I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
You just have to be able to, you don't have to take it what everybody says, but you need to listen at least. Yeah.
Yeah. And what I also heard in there that you're talking about is attracting the right people. And that really starts with the decision of who you want. Like, who is that person? And one of the things I've found most valuable for me, and I know my clients do it as well, is designing that perfect team member, that perfect client, that perfect whatever, mentor, coach, right? Like, you can design these people. Who do I admire? Who do I respect in my industry? Who do I want to become more like? You can design your dream self. So write out a description of that, of the values, of the characteristics, of the qualities and traits, so that you have that picture in your mind. And when you go up to that coach or mentor, you can pull out your list of, hey, does this person check off all my non-negotiables? Do they walk the talk? Are they, a good person? Are they a family person? person, whatever those are for you, does that person match? Does the team member, do they do things on time? You take them through a 90-day trial or something like that in terms of onboarding them onto your business. Do they, match the criteria that I set up to make sure that they're going to be a successful team member or an employee? So really having the clarity of that and then deciding that you won't tolerate anything less than that is so important.
Oh, it is. And it does take a while to get that image in your head, to get that list down. And mine's still evolving. I'm sure yours is as well.
Yeah.
Because as we grow and meet, like I didn't just wake up one day, oh, I want to be like, okay, I want to be on this Burn show and I want to be talking to the Leslie Platt, as you like to call it. These things come over time. And as you keep that coachability and you keep deciding, more you get closer and closer, and it evolves.
Totally.
And all of a sudden, it's like you suddenly it starts to fall into place. It's not magic. Well, maybe just a little.
We heard it. Corina said, "Decide to have magic in your life." Damn it.
It's true. Come on. Anyways. But it's true, when you start making those decisions and you decide that you go, you know what, I'm done having 50 different voices at me.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick 3. Deciding on 3. It'll happen. So it helps to declutter, it helps to streamline, it helps to make it just a little bit easier. But you also have to decide that you're going to put the hours in, because whether you got brick and mortar or you're on the internet, the hours are huge, and it ain't coming in one day. Sorry, not happening. You got to put your nose to the grindstone and bust it.
Yeah.
It's just, there's no, and if you haven't got the chops for all that, that's okay.
Right.
At least you tried it, right? You tried it. Hey, that didn't work. But what did you learn from it? What are you going to take forward? Right.
That's right.
So
that's right. Yeah. I love it. I love it. And there's seasons of life too. This season where you're so fired up about the business, like, might not be the season where you have the breakthrough of, becoming a family person, or it might not have the breakthrough of, breakthrough of your health, but it might be a breakthrough where you break through your finances, and vice versa. You might be wanting the breakthrough in your finances, but you have the breakthrough in your health or your relationships or your family or whatever else it might be. So like you said, it's like, what did you learn and how did you grow and what can you be appreciative of? I love how you mentioned you're a glass half full kind of woman, because you look at what did work. What can I take from this? What is the lessons? What are the wisdom pieces that I can pull forward and move forward with?
I think the one thing that's just kind of popped into my head that you need to hear, that you have to do something that makes you so uncomfortable and squirm so bad that you almost don't want to do it. It happened to be with a free course that I took with Leslie. And I was kicking and screaming and fussing and just carrying on like a 3-year-old in the candy store that couldn't have her lollipop. I am not kidding. And so I dove, and the harder I pushed against it, the more I dove into it, because the way I was doing it wasn't working the way I wanted. I knew it could go better. I knew it could go bigger, faster, like the $6 million man.
Totally.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
I know I'm dating myself.
I was like, I think there's a fuzzy picture of that somewhere in my memory that my parents talked about. Yeah.
To build them faster and stronger.
Right.
So by diving into that, by doing something so uncomfortable, it blew the doors off things. So trying to get you stuck in your own, I will and I won't. You gotta be open.
How can we engineer that and then have the support to do those really, really crazy, uncomfortable things? Like, what kind of things, how can we create that in our own life? For a listener, what is a practical way to say, okay, from start to finish, I do this, 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 and this. I'm going to be super uncomfortable. I'm going to have the support I need. But at the end of it, I'm having a huge freaking breakthrough.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is to have somebody who's going to support you, kick your ass, and hold you very accountable.
Yes.
With deadlines and timelines. And I think that's, for me, that worked beautifully.
Yeah.
Because I had homework. somebody at home saying, no, I don't want to hear it. Get down and get it done. So there was times I kind of had to be told.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I did, they were like, well done, way to go, good for you. And
Yes.
yeah, so, and after a day, after a little bit, you stop needing that. So just to get
Mm,
you over that hump,
mm.
right? It's like when you quit sugar. I know, horrible. Just thoughts of not having sugar just make me cringe. But if you do need to go off sugar, the first few days are really, really hard. That's when you need the most. You can do this.
Yeah.
Don't dare touch that sugar bowl. That
Mm,
kind of stuff.
yeah.
So having somebody that is just not gonna put up with any of the crap
Wow. So it's
in a
that account. What was that? Say that one
loving
time.
way,
Loving way. Yes. Yes. Yeah. You have to have someone who's like holds you to the fire, holds your feet to the fire, and does it in a way that empowers you and reminds you how great you are, how powerful you are, how capable you are of this, and don't believe any of the
and
BS
why
that you're
you're
telling
doing
yourself.
it. They will
Yeah.
remind you what the
Mm,
end goal is when you're like, I don't want to. It's like a
mm.
personal trainer. There's
Wow.
going to be times you're like, I do not want to work out. I do not want to have that protein shake. And they're going to go, no, you remember you wanted this. Look how close you are.
Mm,
Right. And they're going to encourage you and help you get over that hump. And that's what that's all about. And
yeah.
my team will help me. My uplines will help me. My family will help me. So I've got huge tribes. So yeah, it's
Mm,
kind of neat. Yeah,
yeah.
it's a cool thing.
That's
And
awesome.
the more I do this kind of stuff, the more people like that keep coming into my life, like more and
Yeah.
more. So
Well,
it's
you're playing at a bigger and bigger level, you know, like you're committed to getting your message out. You're willing to face the uncomfortability, the resistance, whatever it might be, and you're giving yourself an opportunity to be seen and heard where people can resonate with you and your story and what you've overcome. So that's like so inspirational, and people gravitate towards people who are on fire, people who are, you know, on purpose with a purpose. So I really really
yeah.
just love how you're doing it, how you're showing up.
I love that you changed from being on fire because that's kind of rah words that make me feel so but that when you are so full of your purpose and what you
Yes.
believe in, that you're going to stand up there and
Yeah.
wade through the hundreds of marriage proposals of how they're going to treat you like a queen while you pay for them. Or the trolls have got horrible things to say, but you realize you're just hurting worse
Mm,
than you, and you can let that go. But where you can go through all that and
mm,
you just keep growing, you just keep doing it. When you have that kind of commitment and belief in yourself, and that comes from your feeling of I'm worthy, I'm enough, I can do this, I am valuable,
mm.
I decide, all those things, that's where this keeps growing. And that's what it's about.
Yeah. 100%. I love it. So, what do you see moving forward for you, for your brand, for your team? What are you committed to creating? What are you inspired by? How do you want to, and how have you decided so far, and it's totally cool if it's evolving, how have you decided to impact the world in bigger and bigger ways?
You're a big step from that. I'm going to be totally honest. You're a
Yes.
very big step with that.
Yes.
It's a possibility I never even entertained.
Wow.
But by being blessed and lucky enough to be here with you, it's a way for me to bring that to a broader world. And
Mm,
now I'm being open to that and I'm being receptive of that. And I'm going to personally invite people. I handpick the people that I choose to invite. And
wow.
and I've said this before. There's a reason why I say, have you thought of doing what I'm doing?
Mm,
There's a very specific reason. And I tell people all the time, because I see that potential in you that you
mm,
don't recognize yet.
wow.
I know that amazing, phenomenal, empowered, validated, uplifted woman, that woman that can make her own money
Mm,
and be in charge and be confident in that is there.
yeah.
You don't see it yet, but I do.
Wow.
So hang out with me for a little while. We'll get you there.
Mm,
And that's what I do. So I send a personal message that is very intentional.
mm,
I want you, that's the person I want.
mm,
It's not just, I don't just want a big team I don't know. I don't just want to have a whole, thousands underneath me or something like, and I don't know who you are.
mm,
This is very, very, very personal to me. That's
mm,
very personal.
yeah.
I just really see a bunch of women that have gone, yes, I decided.
Mm,
I'm going to decide that this is mine. And
yeah.
that's what I hope to have underneath me. And that's why I start doing this. I start going, I have this tribe. I want to have these beautiful, amazing, sparkling women just like doing their thing and being out there while they're putting on their face in the morning with their cup of coffee and their dog running around, the kids going, don't tease your sister. And letting people know that life happens and you can still be amazing. You can still shitty things happen. You're still amazing. You'll be okay.
Yeah. So what is possible when you are out there being bold, sharing your message, sharing this Decide message, and there's women who are stepping up to their level of capacity and leadership and being their greatest possible selves in their lives? What's possible?
Anything. Anything is possible. You know, I'm not going to say you're going to be the richest person in the entire world. I'm not going to say you're going to be the most famous, you know, but you are going to be the best version of you that there possibly is. So you and I have very similar when we speak about that. You want, you know, people to be their greatest possible self. I know that you're going to be the most amazing you possible, the most confident you, the most have the most self-esteem about yourself. You're going to feel unshakable and that kind of thing. You're going to feel like you are worth being heard. Yeah. Now I lost my train of thought, but
it's
what you were asking. But
it's perfect. It was about, you know, really what is possible when these women are being empowered to step into their power. Like, how does that impact families and communities and, you know, people getting their message out and creating the life they desire?
I think to go with that, when women especially, and I'm gonna be quite selective with that because I'm not a man and I don't pretend to understand men. I adore them to bits and pieces. But I don't know how man's brain thinks. I know how a woman's brain thinks. And I know that men are more programmed as go-getters, as providers. That's their genetic predisposition. Is still, the stats are just there. It's just the reality that it's harder for women to make it and yet to make more of an impact on the world. Yet we're life givers. We're life bearers, life bringers. So if we start as a tribe, you know, and I keep saying that.
I love it.
As a tribe to kind of believe in ourselves, that's just going to grow. And because we are kind of the life bringers, that's going to start resonating out like ripples in a pond. And it's going to get bigger and louder. And that's going to mean, I think that's just going to mean a shift in the world. And I'm already seeing it. I'm seeing this bit of a shift in people where they're bonding together. They're not cutting each other out. They're unifying. They're reaching to each other. They are bonding and banding together for good reasons. And I can see it even in my own neighborhood where we've got these 4 or 6 of us. And, you know, we had somebody pass away, and all the neighbors came together and took care of this lady because her husband passed away. So it's about when you start feeling that comfort and that security and that power in yourself, for lack of a better word, it just starts oozing out of you. It just starts sparkling everywhere. So when you walk, you're like got the sparkle going on everywhere, and it just infects everybody. It just happens. And you're standing in the grocery store and you got a smile on your face, and the kids, they're being trolls, but you're like, you're just being trolls. All right, here, have a banana. You guys are hungry. Knock it off. I'll sell you with the gypsies. And you can do that, and people are going to go like, that is so cool. You're like, oh yeah, well, you should have seen what I did with them last week, you know. But being confident and touching other people's lives in the grocery store, in the dentist's office, whatever. Like it's a neat thing that just grows.
Yeah. So organic, like spreading and ripple effects, because
like it's virus.
Yes. Well, I think so many people. I love it. It's viral. Decide going viral. I love it. So it's like so many people think that they don't really make a difference in the world. And literally, it's through the process of making a difference in one person's life at a time, sharing one story with one woman, with one conversation, you know, like being a little bit more kind or graceful or compassionate or forgiving with your kids when they do something silly or stupid or, you know, whatever it might be, foolish, and just being a little bit more forgiving and understanding, because like that's what changes the world. And that's what we can do to really shape our reality and shape the people around us to carry that spirit on with them into the world as well.
I think that too, as we evolve and when we do this full Decide, that we become more confident in ourselves, and that we're able to be calmer.
Mm,
We're able to be more open. We're able to see a bigger picture because you're not so consumed with your own small thinking. Your mind has
mm,
been open. Your ability to see from here goes to here.
yeah.
So those little things aren't that big a deal anymore because you can see the bigger picture now. So you're more compassionate.
Mm,
You're more, you have more humility. Like when I'm on these lives and I'm talking like this is a huge responsibility.
right.
This is a huge honor. It's a responsibility. It's an accountability that people are expecting me to be there. And that's, when you're going out and doing this kind of stuff, even if you're just talking to helping the lady put her groceries in the car, you're held to an accountability of a
Mm,
standard of graciousness and kindness and gentleness and servitude that you have to give, right? And you have to pass that on, and that person will remember. And
mm,
that person will tell someone.
yeah.
And then something nice will happen, and then it just goes and goes. Get it?
Well, yeah. Well, what I loved about this message that you're sharing right now as well is we are all broadcasting and receiving stations of messages and of news of what we want to live and be in the world, what we value, right? Like we receive the content from social media which we engage with, consistently engage with. So if there's a type of content, it's about puppies, right? If we consistently engage with puppy content, that's what we'll keep getting in our feed. Versus if we consistently engage with inspirational, motivational, purposeful content, that's what we'll get more of. Same thing when we put it out into the world. If we put out the inspirational, motivational content, that's who we'll attract. If we put out cute puppies into the world, that's what we'll get more of. I'm so unaligned with it. I can't even say it.
Your register exploded right there, right on camera. Oh my gosh.
I love it. I
We
love
still
it.
need cute puppy pictures from time to time because we can't always. I don't want to be so like, oh yeah, then you forget to just sit there and laugh at
And
yourself.
enjoy. Yeah.
I do it all the time. Almost every live, I am guaranteed to crack up over something unless I happen to
I
have been
love it.
on a real moment and I'm getting there. But I'm usually laughing my ass off at myself. It's hilarious. I have a good time.
I love it. I love it. So that's such a powerful principle though, because like we have that power these days. And when people recognize that, when moms, when kids, when elderly, when people who wouldn't normally think that they're empowered in being able to share their message are like, oh wait, like I'm a total powerhouse. I can create as much impact in the world as I want if I simply put my mind to it. Like that's powerful. That's so empowering. It's so awakening. It's so energizing and gives us that freedom to think like, wow, what can I create? It's like possibility, like just overflowing, oozing with possibility.
But it's also true that I don't want people to think that we all want them to be these big, enormous,
Mm,
glowing neon signs because
mm,
that's for some. For
yeah.
some, it's that quiet, almost this self-centered self. It's not self-centered in a negative way.
Mm,
This self-confidence, and it just kind of radiates. And that can be just something small that you do, and that's just as impactful and just as powerful
yeah.
as somebody doing something big and loud. So it's the whole gamut that you can do what you think is this big.
Mm,
It could be that big.
yeah.
You just don't know.
Yeah.
So
I love this because in my opinion, like I started off not thinking I had a thing to say in the world. I started off as like I'm a little kid. Nobody understands me. I'm just like, what do I know? And as I took one step at a time saying, I want to impact this life or this life or this life, and then going into like trainings, like I started off with Toastmasters, right? There's like 40 people in a room. I was like, I want to be the best Toastmaster here, like to be my best self. And my best self, I know I have tons of potential within me. So that could potentially mean I'm the best Toastmaster in the room. So I do that. I go through that process, and then I go into like a seminar room, and I'm like, okay, I just want to be my best self, one step at a time, one step at a time. And then I look at the stage and I'm like, damn, I want to be on that stage. Like that looks like fun. I want to be my best self up on that stage, right? So I think that, yes, like wherever people are at, start with one step at a time. Nothing is ever too small. Don't compare your vision of what you see people are doing or what's possible for you to where you're at. Just take that one step at a time and understand that the process is perfect. Trust the process, trust the unfolding.
I equate it to like a baby learning to walk. They take those
Mm,
little baby steps and they fall down, and sometimes they have to take a breath and leave. Sometimes they
yeah.
need mom and dad's hands, but eventually they get there, and it's their
Yes.
time, their pace. Same thing in your life.
Mm.
The same thing in your life.
Yeah, 100%. So, like whatever that destiny is, I always say dream bigger, and whatever you're dreaming, like 10x it, right? Like whatever your comfort zone is, 10x it, because that's probably more along what you're capable of, and that will evolve too. And at some point when you get to that, you'll have to 10x that or 10x whatever your goal is.
Yeah.
So, I
The
love it.
first
I love it, Corina. This is so
Get
awesome.
the confidence, you're gonna get there. You'll
That's
get to
right.
what your 10 times.
Yes, 100%. So, Corina, we want to begin wrapping this up, like final pieces of wisdom. If you want to recap what we already shared about in this interview, or anything else that comes up newly, really, what do you want our audience receiving from this interview and their time invested here with us?
I think the biggest thing is that you are in complete and utter control of your life, even if you don't feel like it. You are. You
Mm,
really are. And in times when you are feeling overwhelmed, decide to do one small thing, whether that be empty a drawer, fold some towels a little differently, pay a bill, do something. You can slowly take it back. You have to decide it. And you have to decide it over and over and over again.
mm,
By doing that, you'll build those steps and the next step and the next step to be able to be the person you kind of always wished you had been.
mm,
And it might be hard. Oh no, it's going to be hard at times. And there's other times you're going to have a gas doing it. But you have to decide. You have to decide you are worth it.
mm,
Decide you are worthy. Decide you are worth the time and the self care and the love and the gentleness
mm.
to do that. And occasionally the good ass kicking,
Yep,
that you're
yep,
that,
yep.
right? So yeah, and that it's just be open, be coachable.
Mm,
Realize that even if you do have an injury or a disability or a physical challenge, that doesn't mean you can't do anything. You just have to decide to adapt and overcome to do it different.
mm,
So
yeah,
nothing's stopping you but you. You are your biggest door stopper.
mm,
Decide to take the door stopper, chuck it in the river. You don't need it. You can do
mm.
it. You really can do it. One step at a time. Just decide.
Mm, amazing. Amazing. So, Karina, I know that there's people out there listening who want to stay connected with you. There's women who are like, dang, she's inspiring. I want to keep growing with her. I want to keep, being led by her, receiving that leadership from Corina. How would they get in contact with you? How do they continue their journey with you?
Well, that's really easy. I'm all over Facebook as Corina Metz hyphen Hemming. But the best way probably to get a hold of me is just to go to Better Than Bare, BARE.ca. And you can just contact me through there. That's my website. And that'll just take you right to where you can just contact me. You can connect with me. I'm really easy to find on Facebook. I mean, they can just look under my name there that you've so generously posted everywhere.
Mhm.
But really, better than bear.ca is just the best way to find me. And you can go pop on there, have a little snoop, see what it's about and what I'm actually, the products we offer. And remember, they're just the ability to create your platform
Mm.
to whatever you want, big or small, all the way to the top, happy in the middle, just hanging out with the girlfriends. Do whatever you want. So that's, yeah. So better than bear.ca.
That's
That's
right. You heard it. You heard it. Definitely
where
stay
here.
connected. Definitely stay connected, Karina. She is a freaking superstar, and I'm so excited for you and what is possible in you and your message and your brand. It's so powerful, and you have so much potential and possibility ahead of you. I'm excited to see it unfold organically, impacting one person's life at a time, seeing that ripple effect magnify and exponentialize and reach more people. Just a couple years, you're like going to be traveling all over the world. You're going to be in so demand. People are like, Corina needs to get to our event because she's freaking amazing. Okay, because that's what I see in you. That's the potential. You are so powerful, and I'm excited to be a part of the journey and to be supporting you in that and contributing to that. Yeah.
Oh, you've been a sweetheart. This has been just so much fun. Thank you for the opportunity and for this platform to be able to share a little bit about what I'm about and what I believe. So you're just awesome. Thank you so, so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Corina. We appreciate you. Have the best day ever, and we'll see you soon, okay?
Definitely. Take
All right.
care.
Take care. Bye-bye.